Hey, what's going on, guys? Yesterday I got an email from one of my subscribers asking for help crawling this kind of website, spidergators.gr, which is the Greece-based real estate property site. And the problem he encountered was actually 403 response code, which means that the response is forbidden. Or even if he did manage to get a 200 response, he was considered to be bot or scraper, so it's not what he actually intended to obtain in return. So in any case, he couldn't really obtain the real source code from this kind of response to be able to extract some property cards data. So the name of that subscriber is Kinjal Vora. Thanks, man, for providing this nice topic for this video. So in this video we're going to learn how to basically bypass some sort of a simple anti-scraping measure introduced by this sort of a site, and it's based on cookie inspection basically. And the way this site goes is a little bit unusual. At least I've never faced this before. And when I tried to crawl this site using the bare requests library, this was literally just fine and I didn't encounter any issues. But when it came to going with Python Scrapy framework, I had an issue regarding the cookies. And before we start, I would like to show you one little trick regarding Python Scrapy cookie handling. So we would be using this request bin.com public URL endpoint to inspect our incoming requests. So I just copy this URL, and here I have already drafted a scraper containing the headers that we're supposed to be using in this particular case, just to save you time watching me typing all of this stuff. And we would have been making just the only HTTP request as the proof of concept, basically, to show you what I mean here. So let's specify our URL first, save, and for now I'm not gonna be providing any cookies at all, and make and please know that we got this cookie header within the headers, but with the standards default settings it won't be used actually. So if I'm just trying to invoke the terminal in the current working directory, and by simply typing python 3 test.py, I'm just running this. Okay, I just need to put a colon here, I'm sorry guys. So if I just try to run this again, yeah, so now the scraper works, and if I have a look at this request bin.com site, I got this incoming request, and we got exactly 11 headers. But as you can see here, we don't have any cookie header, right? And the way I was already kind of showing you guys and sharing with you guys on how to make use of cookies within the Scrapy framework, that we need to specify this cookie keyword within the Scrapy request object, and here we can say, like, I don't know, name and the corresponding value, like John, and I don't know, like maybe currency and USD and things like this. So the cookie should be the type of dictionary. So in this case, if I just try to make the request one more time, we got another request, and now we have already 12 headers, and here we got exactly the cookies we would like to make use of. And now let me show you what happens if we'll try to make use of this cookie. So I'll just try to grab this string here, so just copy this string, and let me just write a couple of lines of code here. So this would be the cookie string, and let's call this cookie, so this would be equal to this sort of a string, and let's better call this cookies raw, and now cookies dictionary. Okay, so this, like, and if we now just try to do this the casual way, just trying to actually we want to initialize our cookies. So the casual way of doing things in this case would be, say, like, for cookie in and cookie raw, this, like. And we also want to split this string by the empty spaces. No, sorry, not by the empty spaces, but by the semicolons instead. If I just kind of print this cookie and I want to strip to get rid of unnecessary trailing spaces, then we would have a list of okay, where is the list? Sorry, cookie raw is not defined. Okay, oh, cookies raw, sorry, dislike. So we would have a list of all the cookies available here, right? So from now on we can just split them by this equal sign. It was already shown in one of the previous tutorials, but I just really want to give you this insight that I got after for about 4 hours of researching this issue, and I already did even lose my hope to handle this, but when I actually found a solution I was so happy and excited, so I really need to share this with you guys. So if we now initialize our key and values, so let's say key would be equal to cookie split, strip, and now we want to split this by the equal sign and make use of the verb first element, while the value would be literally the same, but instead of we would be using the very last value instead of the very first one. So val here, okay, and now we say cookies key would be equal to the value, and I want to import JSON here as well. What am I doing? Import JSON save, and I would leave this code, but I will comment this out later on. So let's say init key value pairs. Okay, so and here init cookies. Here we'll say loop over cookies string. Okay, and here let's just say print, and I want to say json.dumps and cookies, and indentation equals to 2 spaces. Okay, so now we got our dictionary of cookies, and you might wonder that if we just pass this, then we got exactly the same result that we need, but it's not yet that simple, believe it or not. So if now I will use the cookies variable that we've just created right over here and try to make another request and inspect the incoming response, we still get 12 headers, but now we get these cookies, and it seems to be like exactly what is needed there, but you know, like, it's not exactly. And let me show you the trick. So you see like this PHP session ID key and the value the corresponding value here, but if we have a look at this sort of a stuff within the source code, so just copy paste and try to find this again, you see it's being duplicated here, and as far as the dictionary assumes that you have you can't really have the duplicating keys, or otherwise this would be already a different data structure. So this PHP session ID was simply overwritten, and the target site I've been talking about, this one, it didn't actually accept that sort of a cookie, and that's kind of it. So I was looking for a way, how can I pass these cookies, you know, like how can I actually pass them? But I felt like I completely lost, because if I just did remove these cookies and try to make use of those that are the part of the headers, it kind of gave me one header less again, so it like 11 headers, so the cookie wasn't really available, and I was wondering, like, how on earth can I do this? I was trying to replace the request. I was trying to alter that in the low level using the twisted internet library documentation and all this stuff, but the solution is so simple that I don't know, I want to cry basically after realizing this solution. So we can simply specify the only custom setting here, so let's specify custom settings, and there is the custom settings dictionary, which is standard to the scrapey.spider, the base spider we're inheriting from, and it is called cookies enabled. And here is the trick, guys. By default, this value is set to be equal to true, which means that in this case, like, let me just try to get rid of this one for a while, just to make it really clear. So cookies enabled equals to true, and here we do specify our cookies. And again, I just want to make this request. Okay, so here is our request, and again, like, we got already 12 headers, and we got our cookies, and the PHP session ID has been overwritten, which sucks really, but it doesn't matter for a while. And now if I just try to say like cookies enable equals to false, and I just try to run this one more time basically, and it just try to inspect this request, you see, like, again, we have only 11 headers and no cookies being passed right over in here were taken into account basically. So we can kind of simply get rid of them or just comment them out. But if here suddenly we just specify the cookies using this bearer string and just make literally the same request again, then suddenly it turns out that here we got again like 12 headers and cookie is available, and this PHP session ID, let me just show you this, guys, it is available exactly 2 times. So literally just exactly what we needed to have here. And this sort of a cookie will actually work with the target site. So I just want to show you how this is gonna happen. So one little thing before we proceed. It might have happened that this cookie is already outdated and it might not work from the very first time, but then I will just grab a new copy of cookies if this kind of expired, and still I would like to show you this, guys. So let's start with a very let's just get rid of this setting. So by now cookies enabled equals to true, it's the standard setting there. And first, let's don't specify any cookies at all, and I just want to grab the target URL we're supposed to be making HTTP request to. So if I will now just specify this URL here, I'm sorry for not providing the URL within the base URL as I usually do, just for, or okay, probably it would be even better to do so, or no, I will go slightly differently. So I'll just provide another variable right over here, and okay, comma here, and I just comment this one out. So you would be able to play around with this code after if you want, actually. So now let's try to make a request, and it would give us 403 response forbidden at the moment. Well, at least it has to. No, it doesn't. Okay, it does status 200, but you see, like, it says like you're a power user moving through this website with a superhuman speed. That's one of the assumptions by this site, and it says like make sure that cookies in JavaScript are enabled before reloading the page. And first I was wondering maybe that's the matter of JavaScript, but I tried to make a request to this sort of a site using the Linux terminal-based browser, which is called Lynx, and Lynx did succeed to get the 200 response from this site, and with a reasonable decent data from there, and it didn't really obtain this kind of shit from here. So let's move further on. Now I would be using the cookies here, but remember, just bear in mind that now this PHP session ID would be overwritten. So it seems like the cookies are just kind of fine, but we're getting this 403 response because cookies are not actually that kind of great. So the next thing to consider, we finally just saying like explicitly cookies enabled equals to false. So now we would be passing these cookies instead of this kind of one, and I can just simply comment out these cookies as well. And I hold my breath and I really hope that this cookies didn't yet expire, so I would get a reasonable response. So let me just show you this, guys. And here we got the status 200. Oh my god. Okay, so probably just expired. So hold on a sec, I will try to obtain a new cookie, a fresh cookie, and then actually this should work. I really hope so. And also, yeah, also just before doing this, I just really want to make sure that I did everything right actually. Okay, so it did update already, and let's try this again. So okay, so we'll just grab this cookie again. Yeah, now it's a little bit different. Yeah, so just copy this, and I would paste this cookies right over in here and paste. And again, I'm just wondering, is this still gonna encounter twice? Yeah, it is encountered twice. Perfect. So I hold my breath and try this one more time. Okay. So yes, we did it, guys. So you see, like, this begins to Ruby code monkey code. For some reason this site probably references Monkey Keen, references me actually. but just as the proof of concept, you see, like, if we have a look at the source code of the target site, we see this answer in monkey code. So we just make sure that this is the exact response we were trying to achieve actually. So yeah, it happens that cookies might have kind of might get exhausted basically, or timed out, and in that case they won't really work. And that's basically the reason why some sort of a dynamic cookie setting is on the cards basically, and sometimes we shouldn't make use of this. But you know, like, the very gist of this sort of a tutorial is just gonna show you guys that seemingly disabling cookies actually leads us to enabling cookies. Yeah, this is so weird. This is the Taoist way of web scraping, I guess. Like, in order to stay front, you need just to step back and try to stay behind, and then you would definitely kind of find yourself in front. So this is something the same like thing. So, like, disabling cookies allows that actually the cookies actually kind of work in there. So even if the static cookies won't really work here for kind of numerous requests, still we can change the cookies within the headers, right? So we can just manually parse this string and just kind of manually replace this. So instead of using a dictionary, we can make use of a list of tuples, right? And then we can just or again, like, or a list of lists as well. So just to manually update this, and then again, kind of we can simply just regenerate this cookie string based from the set cookie response here. So similar to what has been already shown in one of the previous cookie tutorials. So I'll probably even put a link to that tutorial, so because I've been referencing that tutorial many times already. So, you know, like, I just really want to emphasize how important it is actually to go your own way and make things also kind of your own way, because it seems like this violates the principles of how to work with the Scrapy framework, right? So it seems like we don't really want to use the cookies on the Scrapy spider level, right? But at the same time, we do make use of these cookies because they still are present within the headers. So this sort of a mind flexibility and not being tied up to best practices of whatever framework, even if it's really popular and famous like Scrapy, still there are kind of some real-world tasks that needs to be flexible in order to solve them. So this is it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you really learned something interesting and you've taken something interesting out of it. So I wish you all the best, and just read the robots.txt file, and this is it. So until next time, take care.